industry. I make pizza, and I'm located in a township. So I think already when I say that, it brings about like ideas of what it means to be South African, what it means to be a woman. The businesses that we've been accustomed to, especially in the Apartheid sort of era, has been your tuck shops or your general dealer kind of setups. We grew up with our mothers cooking in the kitchen. I think everyone knows, and their idea of what a person who cooks, or even a chef, you think that it would be women. But even that industry, when it comes to culinary, is dominated by men. So something that you wouldn't even think should be that way. The commercialization of food itself is the issue. It's not so much about the cooking or the skill. I think women have been cooking for ages. In fact, like cooking has been like, almost been like the one thing that men have been like, okay, this is your thing. You're allowed to cook. You're not allowed to go into the workplace, but you can cook. So I don't think the skill is the issue. I think the issue is these places where women are not allowed to be in, which is the boardroom, to have the conversation about how do we make money off of this food. We need to, as people who are in the township, who are running businesses, to find a way to make sure that businesses such as these do exist in the township. They have to, and if they don't, then what are we saying about ourselves, and what are we saying about where we spend our monies? Because black people do buy pizza, black people buy sushi, black people buy Thai food. So why is it that black people do not necessarily want to buy it from a black person? I think that needs to be spoken about amongst ourselves. We need to figure out, yes, I think small businesses have a long way to go in terms of like providing services in a way that they should. They do need to step up. We do need to, as business owners, stop looking at it as almost like a handout or that people must support just simply because we're black. That needs to change. I am a social entrepreneur, I believe. I am a mother as well. Construction wasn't working. I'd been retrenched, constantly retrenched. I mean, I've worked in call centers as well. I couldn't find a job. It was just, I had to come back home because I was working in Mpumalanga. The company that I was working for was just, didn't work out, you know, their company, the civil engineering company. So I come back home, and it's like you're sitting there with your family, you're back at home, and nothing is as painful as having to start over again. I felt very passionate about pizza because when I was working in other places, that was something that I would order all the time. And I've been pushing this since 2018, and it has been one of the hardest things I've ever done. But it has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. It has made me appreciate being a mother more. It has made me appreciate like being myself. I actually don't think that starting is the hardest thing. Maybe because I'm just a natural risk taker. Uhlale is so difficult as well. Just getting from one place to another is so costly. Just simple logistics for umuntu omnyama to move from one point to another doesn't make any sense. Like, you have to take a route, probably 3 taxis to get to where you could have taken one, and it's by design, which is into zibenjalo. It's ngamabomu that life should be harder for us than it should be for any. And people think as if when you say those things, you're complaining. You're not complaining. These are just facts. Structural problems that even today are still a problem. And that's why, like, apartheid has, when someone is, it's a problem. It's a problem because it affects nezinto ongazicabangi, like water, access to electricity. The whole country having a problem with amakatovs, but us having an issue with like the old houses that were owned by our grandfathers and grandmothers, that thing changing to the people who are now living in those houses, just the politics around that, already that's an issue. That's something that, you know, another probably person from another area or another race doesn't even have to think about. Then on top of that, you have things like COVID. I can't even tell you how that is soul breaking. Like from that high to literally zero to no sales. We tried during COVID where it was like people would call and whatnot, but the way in which these restrictions were in such a way, they just didn't make any sense. They just made it so impossible to do business that we almost had to close down. I had a situation where I was working with people and, you know, the fallout that came from there just affected me financially in such a great deal that I think I even considered closing, because it just feels like it's a blow after blow after blow after blow after blow after blow. And you don't actually even have a space where you can go to speak to someone, especially like someone, a mental health practitioner, you know, where you are like, okay, these are the challenges that I'm having as a business. Because there's no one at home who runs a business. There's no one we can go to and say, okay, okay, I need help with this, where do I go? Everything you have to find for yourself. But as time went, the seeds that I planted and the networks that I had built started coming to help and be the reason why I can still be able to say, okay, I can continue. It's a roller coaster. Like, they're not lying when they say a roller coaster. Entrepreneurship is just, if you are not sure about it, like if you don't have a North Star, if you don't know why you're doing it, I'd say don't do it at all, because it is a mental ruling exercise. I generally think that South Africans have a very toxic way of looking at entrepreneurship, and a very dangerous way of looking at entrepreneurship, because it's very unrealistic. That is the picture that you're being told, and you're told you work 24/7, you know, team no sleep, I don't know, these taglines that are just ridiculous, that make no sense. A big part of entrepreneurship is managing time. So I think that's what will help you to manage being a mother, because you can't stop being a mother, you can't stop being a sister, you can't stop being a community builder, you can't stop all these roles. Each one is as important as the other. Building a brand is a lifetime thing. You're building an idea, you're having people to pay for an idea. It doesn't end, there is no ending of that. It can evolve and shape into something else, but it doesn't end. The market itself is open and willing to buy the product. What we are fixing is the logistics around that. How do you make sure that you can be able to deliver product in the way that it should be done? I think the future for Black women is there is no ceiling.